Sorry we got cut off there. So this is the fourth section in our teachings about reincarnation for Parshas Mishpatim in the Siyar Tafshin Ayin. So we were discussing that there have been stories of animals talking, reflecting the fact that they are reincarnated and they need a tikkun. The Yismach Moshe, I think it was by the Yismach Moshe, there's a story that there was a that he decided, it might have been another rabbi, I'm not sure, maybe it was Herschel, is it a Chover? I don't remember. Kamarna, I don't remember the story. Anyway, he decided he's going to stop eating meat as an extra stringency in kashrus. He was very nervous about this, and what happened was, and you have this in certain communities, in Skver and Kasha, that they don't eat behemoth flesh, they don't eat meat from any mammals, domesticated mammals, because they're worried of chaylev, and then other mammals also they're worried about sirchas in the lungs and so forth, and the animal might be moving, it's a big animal, so there are different minhagim and different things. Some places they'll only eat a calf, but not a full grown cow, because it's hard to shech, different things, because they're nervous about different things. But anyway, so the story goes is that this one rabbi decided he's going to take this stringency. It's not by all Hasidic Jews. And the animals started chasing him. They said, "Wait, what are you doing? Why won't you eat us? We need you to eat us so we can have rectification on our soul." And so perhaps maybe we're not holy enough to do that, but the animals will talk to us, but still we do a favor to an animal when we eat it and we lift it up to a higher place. Even if we don't realize it, all the more so when we do realize it, it's much higher. Similarly, there's stories of talking fish, very common, not very common, but there are several stories even before the Hasidic movement. By the Megala Mukas, there was a talking fish, and they buried the fish, and there's a burial place for the fish. That's one example, but generally by the Hasidic rabbis, they would say they had to eat the fish. Someone who I know, a respected elderly rabbi, a Holocaust survivor, he actually came from the town of Auschwitz, which is known in German as Auschwitz. It's on the border of Poland and Germany. And it used to be a Jewish town, a very established Jewish town before the war, obviously. Incidentally, there's a story of Rabbi Yitzchak. He wasn't able to sleep in that town. He saw such a tremendous darkness was coming from, as we know, what we shouldn't even have to know what horrors took place there, what tremendous evil and murders took place there. But anyway, before that, it was a wonderful Jewish town, and like Shlomo Carlebach would say when he would talk about stories from the Haim, he said, let's pretend this was just Auschwitz. So the story goes was that there's a river goes through Auschwitz, and the fishermen would catch fish, and everyone would have fish for Shabbos and so forth. One week they didn't catch any fish, they didn't know what to do. This is a story going back about 200 years. So they took big nets from one end of the river to the other that the people were holding on one end to the other to try to catch whatever goes through, and they didn't catch anything. Finally, they saw this humongous fish. And the fish was going, and they ran after it with the boats, and they caught it, and the fish let out a scream, "Let me go, I have to go to Rimanov to be by the Rebbe Mendele." The holy Rebbe Menachem Mendel and Rabbi Yosef from Rimanov, the fish wanted to go there to receive a tikkun. He couldn't receive it just from anybody. And then the fish was caught there in Rimanov, this very big fish, and they brought it to Rebbe Mendele. The story got through, and they brought it to Rebbe Mendele, and he had tremendous kavanas when he prepared the fish and ate it on Shabbos. And even to recent time, the Sklener Rebbe Shlita, Batel Chaim Tevim, the Sklener Rebbe should be served to many more years of serving Klal Yisrael and holding up this world. So he, as a boy, he said he remembers, it was common, people would keep fish in their bathtub. Even today, some people have the custom to use Pesach, to have a fresh fish for Pesach. It shouldn't be preserved in any alcohol that might be derived from chametz. So he said that in the middle of that he was a boy, and remember the fish started talking. So then his father said, "Oh, we have to make a special tikkum on this fish when we eat it on Shabbos." And even recently, a few years ago, it was on the front page of the New York Times that in New Square in New York there was also such a story of a talking fish, and such a thing is there is a tradition like this, and again, this was probably something supernatural because fish don't have vocal cords to talk, so it was something supernatural. But the story was that one of the workers, he heard the fish, he said, "Oh, he's not Jewish." He said, "Oh, this fish is possessed by the devil." And then the owner said, "Oh, you're Meshugana, you're crazy, what are you talking about?" The fish is talking, he comes in, and the fish is saying, he said who he was. It was someone from the neighborhood, just passed away, and he said, "Ani tzarich tikkun." He said, "I need a tikkun, a softball, and the end is coming." This was the message from the fish, and they brought it to the Rebbe, and they served it by the tish on Shabbos, and it was the Rebbe who could make a tikkun. So, practically speaking, people should be careful to eat fish by the Shabbos meals. Interesting, the Satmar Rav would not eat fish during the week, only Shabbos or Chodesh, or it was a Sudas Mitzvah, something special, not just a weekday, because he said even tuna fish, nothing, because he felt he couldn't make the tikkun during the week like he could with the power of Shabbos or Chodesh or Yantav, something. And he said that one time they brought him fish during the week and he didn't want to eat it, but then the Gabba told him it was the yortzeit of the Shin of Rav. So, the yortzeit of the Shin of Rav, he could eat fish. He was a little reluctant still, but he was matter himself to eat fish. But stam, even among Satmar Chassidim, it's not the minhag. People do eat fish during the week. It's just, but even generally, not really eating so much. Except the 9 days, people eat it, but it's not so common and not frowned on. It's not like it's a minhag for all the Chassidim. But there's a very famous Musar word, that the Gilgul is not only into an animal, it can also be into a plant. So it's very famous, I think it's in Reishis Chochma, sure, other Svarim, they bring, all the Musar Svarim bring it down. It's brought down in the Seder Yom from the Biala Rebbe also, about how careful we have to be about saying brachas during the week also. And the famous story that there was someone, he came to an inn, and he came in and he had a drink of schnapps, and he had it quickly, and he forgot to say a bracha, or he just didn't really say the bracha, didn't really say the bracha. The innkeeper was a tzaddik and Talmid Chacham, and for his parnasa, for his livelihood, he kept an inn. And he said, "You don't know what you just did." He said, this piece, let's say someone, he was reincarnated into a piece of wheat. How much wheat there is in the world just goes to waste. Alright? How much is used, how much is eaten by animals? How many pieces of wheat finally get it that it's become worthy to be consumed by a human being, to be made into something fit for consumption by a human being. And how much of that is even consumed or is wasted? And then who consumes it? Is he a religious person? Does he believe in God? And then, even more so, is he Jewish? Is he a religious Jew? Does he say brachas and so forth? And how do you know? Maybe your father's soul was in that wheat that finally made it to this, went through a whole journey just to get into your cup. And the guy, remember, it was his father's yortzeit. And he realized what he did wrong, that he didn't say the bracha. He could have bring a big blessing to his father's soul in heaven, and instead he wasted that opportunity because he just quickly took his shot of whiskey. And so it teaches us how careful we have to be when we make brachas, practically.